the Star Trek cast from generation to generation?
Well, we just wrapped our third season of Strange New Worlds a week ago, so it hasn't been very long. In fact, I just had breakfast with Ethan Peck this morning, who plays Spock. So it hasn't really been that long, and luckily we got our season 4 picked up before we even finished shooting season 3, which doesn't always happen. So we're very, very grateful and excited to keep making our stories. But yeah, I'm excited to see everybody. You know, I started within this Trek world on Discovery before we did that was the spinoff. I mean, our Strange New Worlds was the spinoff from Discovery. So I'm excited to see Wilson Cruz and Doug Jones and Tunde and everybody from that show. It's exciting.
Yeah, we just spoke with Ethan and Doug, and they're fabulous.
Oh, good.
But I also want to ask you, being at the Peabodys, in your opinion, what is the role of an artist during trivial times going on in the world?
Well, I think it depends on the show you're in, and I'm really proud to be a part of this show that obviously has, a positive impact on audiences. And I think there's something about Trek that taps into this inherent human trait, which is curiosity and discovery. So I think that as long as we can tell the stories that obviously we don't write, we're just, we're the channels for great writers, but it's a massive collaboration between, very, very talented producers and writers and then us actors. It's not, I don't think anybody can take full credit.
So it's in the collaboration.
It's in the collaboration, yeah.
And also, just in the time that we're in right now in Hollywood, it's post-strike, people are selling projects, still working through a lot of everything. Does it make you feel bleak about Hollywood, or almost looking forward to whatever transformation might come out of it?
I do think change is always good, but I do feel sad about so much industry leaving California. I feel like I really wish California could figure out how to get the industry to come back, because so much of it is left California, and it used to be our biggest industry.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that kind of plays into this being the epicenter.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Rebecca.
Thank you.
I appreciate your time. So how does it feel being at the Peabodys and knowing that we're not only honoring, great storytelling, but storytelling that has awareness and action behind it?
I think it's so good. I mean, I'm so glad to be back at the Peabodys again. Last time I was at the Peabodys, it was in New York City, so I'm glad to be here in hometown in LA. But it's really, really good to be here to show up for, film and television like how we always should. And it's great to see all the great films and television being seen now, even in this crazy time that we're in. So I'm glad to be here.
It's amazing just to see the diversity here as well. I'm sure it was not this way a few years ago.
And that's the best part about it. I feel like there's so much that has been opened up when it comes to diversity and just intersectionality of all people being on the red carpet and being seen mostly for their talent. That's what we're here for. We come here to do our jobs, make people happy, and show up, within our work.
And speaking to that, in your opinion, being a recording artist and an actor,
yes.
what is the role of an artist during trivial times when people's rights are being taken away? We're going into an election year. I could go on a full list of all the things going on.
We surely could. And me and you could probably go back and forth about it. I'd say the most important thing when it comes to when we're in these times specifically is to uplift. I mean, I feel like my heart is always devoted into writing music that's going to influence people to get up, get out, be happy, be aware, and also dance too. And when it comes to specifically acting, I think it's crucial to play characters in a time where it's, harsh and hard to really show the disparities between the two differences of things. So that's my job, I feel, and I'm always going to try my best to keep doing it. I love making people happy. I'm a people pleaser, so, that just comes with the territory.
Thank you so much. Your performances on screen are always so amazing.
Thank you. I try my best too.
You succeed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. Fellow Travelers has done such amazing work just for LGBTQ storytelling. Can you talk about what it was like kind of in the room pitching this idea that was more
question. Thank you. Fellow travelers, it definitely is what we call a queer love story. It follows people through events in queer history. But I kept saying over and over again, it's not really a queer love story, it's a human love story. That's a human history, American history. Because we all love, have our hearts broken, all of those things. So we wanted to honor our history as a community, connected to the bigger history of humanity.
And given that we're in that post-strike era right now in Hollywood, do you feel that studios are kind of almost tightening their belt to more queer stories, to more diverse storytelling, or do you feel like this is the opportunity to dive deeper into this?
It's so funny because you previewed my remarks for this evening, so I don't want to give too much away, but I'll say that I hope that people continue to be as courageous as the incredible executives that I have at Showtime and Fremantle who said to me, be more ambitious, be more provocative, don't hold back. And that, I really hope that we get to continue to have people who have that kind of courage. Storytelling that is provocative, makes you think and feel, is what storytelling should be.
I think a lot of artists will need to hear that. If that's the preview of your series, I know it'll definitely be going viral tonight. I know a lot of artists feel very bleak about the current
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's really my pleasure.
Grandfather, children, which I think is less than I guess.
First and foremost, it's from the franchise. There's always hope, right? We can do better. It takes all of us to work as a team.
Pivoting for a second, the Trekkie fans and some of
There's some young Latino kid who comes dressed in my white uniform, says that they're inspired to be within themselves. I mean, that's why we do it.
They are not blocked, right? The passion,
The way that people make them.
I totally understand. It's a job, but more seriously, the harm is being caused.
Sci-fi was really the genre that pushed diverse storytelling, pushed diverse casting. What do you think it is that studios were more open to that back then and only under that genre?
I think it's because we all know that we are making our way towards a future where it is more diverse, where history will catch up with itself. Early on in world history, people of color, LGBTQ people were not allowed to be themselves and achieve success. We're moving our way towards a time where we're allowed to be all that we are and be the best that we can be. And Star Trek is about hope. And so what more hopeful message can we send out that we can achieve and be leaders and heroes ourselves? We don't need white people or straight people to save us. We can save ourselves.
So beautifully said. Thank you so much, Wilson. Congratulations on tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
And I have to ask, tell me about the ceasefire fit that you have on.
Well, I mean, I was just talking about it. It's just, I think so many people right now are feeling the tension and the problems with inflation and all kinds of stress from strikes and lack of work and genocide. Multiple genocides. Gaza, Congo, Sudan, Tigray. You can go on and on. And everyone, I think, right now is questioning the purpose of why they're doing any sort of award show, participating in any kind of press, and any glitz and glam, getting dressed up to do anything because it's hard. It's a difficult time right now. So, if I can do anything, even if it's in my clothing, to lift up the causes that are most important. And I will say, with this particular award show, it is much more about values and doesn't make me think that we're going on a hamster wheel and getting dressed up to play a game that doesn't make sense right now. It's not logical. It is what the usual everyday of Hollywood is. It's just bullshit right now, and it's a hard thing to get up and not be crying, and you know what I'm saying, and really empathetic about all of the things and stressed out about all the things that are happening around the world, but also right here in Los Angeles with homelessness and, you know, the unhoused population increasing every day and jobs. It is just a very stressful time. So anything that I can do to lift up the plight of those who are going through some incredibly horrific tragedies right now, and to highlight the people and the efforts and the leaders that are banding together to transform those problems, to find solutions for those problems, to end, to abolish, to transform. Those people I want to lift up as much as possible, and to show folks that we don't have to compete for celebration. That's not what awards are about, you know, and we definitely don't need white folks to tell us that our art is good and valuable. But this is an award show that I think honors people's values and does their best to highlight and amplify the people, the writers who are, you know, centering liberation values or values of change and social good in their work.
So would you say that almost during this time, the role of an artist is to create and create more, just to kind of
Well, you know, Tony K. Van Barr said the role of the artist is to make the revolution irresistible. Nina Simone said the role of the artist is to reflect the times. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's applicable right now. I think anytime there has to be purpose. The whole role of art and story is to connect beyond what statistics and logic can convey. What you know, regular communication, everyday communication can spark in people's imagination. So I think you take that art because it speaks on a metaphysical level. It speaks beyond the physical and beyond that logic. There's always been a purpose to that art and that storytelling, and it's always been connected to the health of our communities. Hollywood has only made us believe that it's commercial and capitalism, right? And that there's no purpose to it. It's just art, you know? No, it has a purpose. And I believe what Tony K. Barr says and what Nina Simone says, that our duty is to reflect the times and to make the revolution irresistible. When people are in pain, like Malcolm X would say, it's a sin to be mediocre in that pursuit of justice. So I'm doing my best to disrupt and bring the fight to oppressors and colonizers and settlers' doorsteps. You know what I'm saying? To say that this is wrong and we have different values and we are going to fight for liberation in our communities and beyond. Absolutely, and we're going to use our art to do that.
Thank you so much, Kendrick. I appreciate it.
Tonight. How are you?
Amazing.
Thank you so much.
I wanted to ask you, I was actually just talking to Kendrick about the same thing, but I've been asking a lot of people tonight, in your opinion, what is the role of an artist, you know, during the times that we're going through in the world?
Artists, as artists, we serve as kind of like calling ourselves a mouthpiece or a representation so people can feel seen and relatable. You know, it's kind of our, I guess, duty to express the collective feelings of everybody and kind of have something where maybe people don't know how they're feeling or what they feel, whether happy, sad, or in between, and kind of give a solid, tangible grasp to what we're all feeling collectively. Love, hate, whatever it may be, however you want to express yourself, I feel like art is a way for us to feel seen and heard.
I love that. It's like you're creating that empathy and creating that space for people to really almost give them that outlet to express themselves.
Absolutely.
And how does it feel today, you know, being at the Peabodys, seeing all of these amazing shows awarded and also being a part of an amazing show yourself?
I mean, especially from the standpoint I have from being an Indigenous woman, and we have such great Indigenous content, artists, arts just coming onto the rise, and the fact that I'm here representing and presenting Reservation Dogs, it's just such a great historic moment in time, and all the other artists, this great list of people being, you know, honored. It's just, we need this right now to kind of have something to kind of balance out with everything else going on in the world, so it just really means a lot for me to be a part of it, instead of being just a spectator. I'm actually involved in it, and it means a lot.
We're seeing an increase in Indigenous representation on screen and diverse Indigenous representation on screen. It's very slowly, but how does that make you feel just about Hollywood and like the direction that it's headed in? Does it feel progressive, or does it feel like we still have a long ways to go?
mean, we have a long ways to go, but it's baby steps. We're not going to get there in a sprint, and it's about time. We've been doing this work. It's just now we have a platform to do it, or we're finally getting seen and heard, and we have people behind the camera, in the writer's room, makeup artists, hair artists, along the line of this is something we naturally do as people, as storytell. And there's an actual a way to have that as a job, a career, and also to be respected as equals, as we can do this too. Not like we just showed up, but like, hey, look, we have a story to tell. And I can't express more that allyship to do that is very, very important. So I think this is a good time to be where we are now, and it's just going to, keep progressing forward and making those steps towards where we need to be.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you so much.
For your time.
Thank you.
We didn't get the last one for some reason.
I'll remember that. It's okay. But I wanted to ask you, how does it feel knowing that people are more open to individuals and storytelling, not only as audiences, but also the Hollywood?
I mean, it's been a long uphill battle, but we're very proud of the work that we've done, and the recognition that we got, and it just means that it's going to open doors for more people and younger people to come up and kind of take the torch and keep telling these stories from our community.
It's only about 60 or 70 years too late, but it's this is happening.
Happening now.
In Hollywood, and I think
Hollywood's always
right? And then staying on to that topic of conversation, I also wanted to ask, do you feel now that almost post-strike unions kind of tighten their belts in terms of diversity, just Hollywood tighten their belts, or does it feel like it's still easier because people want more projects than that?
I'd say anything because I'm waiting for
Wants to get his next show. Oh no, they're great. Hollywood's great.
They're great. I mean, tighten up the purse strings even more for all I care. I'd like to make something for nothing.
My last quick question.
One last one. Oh, okay. Which one?
Quick one. You guys don't mind.
No, go on.
But what is in your opinion, what is the role of an artist, while we're going through trivial times, just on a global scale right now?
I think that it's our job to tell the truth and to try to change the world through story. It was a few days ago. It was the first time. It was a celebration of when Native people became citizens in this country not that long ago. Through story, through exposure, through representation, good representation, the world changes. And we've seen that happen since this show came out.
I think that as artists, the work should speak for itself. The work is the opinion. So people want to know how I feel about things. Watch my work, and that's all we can hope to do is to try and storytelling is it can be changed. It can change people's minds. It can change the world, but it's also it's our duty just to do it as artists, and that's as political as I can get.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you both so much. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Unnecessarily cold.
I will buy a real shirt after today. It doesn't have any clothes on it.
So
you are
by the way.
impressed. It's so pretty.
Thank you. Congratulations,
Thank you.
second Peabody Award. I have to ask, how does it feel knowing that not only have you created a sitcom for families to sit around and enjoy, but one that's also creating change for teachers and the American public school system?
Well, it's a dream come true. I mean, like, part of the reason you do this is just to be able to make something and hope it gets made. So for people to enjoy it, talk about it, and for it to be critically acclaimed is more than you can dream of. I think anyone who's making television, this is literally the dream. And like you said, my main goal was to make a show that really served multi-generational households and brought people together. And just doing that alone was enough. So the fact that Peabody Awards finds not only my show but my work to be worthy of an award is incredible.
I love seeing art with actually incredible way that it moves people.
Yeah.
And I think people forget about comedy. They think of drama all the time, but comedy really has that impact.
Yes. It's one of the last threads that really can bring us all together. I mean, I think there's so much beauty in sharing a laugh. It means a lot. It's really healing, and I think that comedy is just as important as, people brooding over a story together, sharing a laugh with each other.
And you've had a lot of comedy and sitcom giants. You were just with Jennifer Aniston, Black Young Actress.
Yes.
We were with you when you were with
Yes.
and
Yes.
Campbell as
Yeah.
well. How does it feel knowing that these people that you might have grown up watching, that you respected, are saying, great job, congratulations, you created a sitcom that I love today?
It makes me feel like I'm doing the right thing and that I'm doing a good job of it. I love comedy. It's no news to anyone, but I do. So when the greats and the giants are proud of the work as well and feel like I'm doing the craft justice, that just means the world to me.
And my last question for you is, as a showrunner, just post-strike right now in Hollywood, do you feel that studios are more open to diverse storytelling, or they're almost potentially, tightening their belts and going with what's quote unquote safe?
That's a really good question. It seems what we're seeing is showing us the latter. I like to believe that there are people like me and certain producers who are going to constantly
go out of our way to champion diverse stories. So while I know the landscape may look a little bleak right now, I feel like there are always going to be people who are trying to champion that next exciting thing, not just because it's diverse, but because there's excellent storytelling that can come from minority communities, and I just don't think it's a thing we should give up on. Even though we're seeing something that looks a little scary right now, there are people like me who are not giving up on, making sure that different stories are told.
Thank you for doing that.
Of course.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Nice to